to shoot videos. And somebody recently complimented me on this particular style of recording. I don't remember who this person was. Please forgive me. You're probably not even watching this anymore. There's probably a video that pissed you off. And you said, fuck that crazy bitch. I got better things to do with my time. But it occurred to me that this really is the best way to shoot. I just get sick of it. I get sick of it, and then I go back to the color. I think I look better in black and white too, wouldn't you say? So do you think that I can take this car out to Nashville? Because I really want to. I just assumed that my car was going to be in the shop, but I don't know if that's even necessary now. I'm so low maintenance. I call it low may. But anyway. Something that I was talking about in the previous video. Maybe this is like a broader subject. The phantom libido. So I look at everything from like a percentage perspective. So like one of the main reasons why I don't want to be in a romantic relationship with anybody is because I see very little reward with that. I've been in romantic relationships where I was really in love with a person for approximately 2 weeks. And then it occurred to me, like it always occurs to me, that I'm just a lot happier being by myself. Now, does that mean that I'm like never lonely, or I'm not ever like despondent about this aspect of my life? No, that's not what that means. It just means that it's way better than the alternative. So if I'm in a relationship and I'm clawing my way out of it, and it really doesn't matter like how happy this person made me at some point, like I just don't see the benefit. I think I'm just a lot more logical of a person. I'm logical when it comes to my emotions. And I don't want to expend myself more than I have to for something that I don't really believe in. Because the more that I look at my life, and just life in general, the less I believe in love, the less I believe in any of that shit. And maybe that's kind of dark. Like, it's not because anybody broke my heart. I mean, if anybody broke my heart, it was fucking me. Okay, I broke my damn heart. But I think that women, well, men too, everybody, let's just say everybody, we have the tendency to attract things that aren't good for us. So like, I know that for me, maybe like one of the reasons why I find myself like going back and forth between like various altered states of mind is because I look at that like it's some kind of relationship. And I mean, I think this is the correct perspective. I wish that more people, like, would think about things on a deeper level, because of all the ways that I struggle with marijuana, it's like, just imagine if Maryjane were an actual person. Just imagine if, like, this drug that I can't seem to let go of, what if that were a person that was abusing me and I didn't know how to let go of it? I think I've gotten a lot better at letting go of relationships that don't work, or people in my life that I know aren't good for me. And I think that that's a lot harder for most people. But I'm also pretty different when it comes to, like, the isolation factor. Like, I take isolation over, well, everything, really. I would much rather be isolated. I would much rather be all by myself for the rest of my life than have to, like, spend too much time with anybody. But that's also, like, a sacrifice. It is. It probably doesn't sound like that because you know, when we think of sacrifices, we tend to think of, like, giving up our time and attention to somebody else. But I would say that, like, to make the seemingly final decision of, you know, avoiding human interaction, avoiding romance, avoiding sex, love, all that shit. I would say that, yeah, that in itself is a major sacrifice, to just turn away from all of that and say, no, I'm all right. I'm all right. I will just stay over here. That, you know, sometimes that does kind of bother me that I'm that way. And I guess that's where the phantom libido comes in, where I'm still of the world, and so those messages are still being sent to this phantom thing that I know is supposed to be there because I'm a human being with genitals. And so it sends those messages, and it's like, if I can give you a metaphor, say you're just calling somebody over and over and over again. Say your phantom libido is calling, and the person that picks up at the receiving end is like, you got the wrong number. You know? I feel like that's accurate. But, sometimes I wish that wasn't so, though. Because sometimes it really bothers me. But to trace it back to what I was talking about before, about drugs, it's like, I know that there's no escape from this. I know that no matter what, I'm going to be, you know, kind of fucked up. Not just about, you know, myself and my place in the world, but just being in this world. And I know that drugs are not going to fix that. Drugs aren't going to make it all better. But because they used to work better than they do now, probably because I was a completely different person in many regards, I still have that attachment. And it's hard for me to sever that, you know? And so some days I can pretend that I've severed it, and other days I get high. Is that a good way for me to explain it? I've always seen plants like they're our friends, and just like I see plants the same way I see animals, bugs, you know. I mean, I'll talk to a fucking house plant. Don't think that I won't, okay? If I'm gonna talk to a house plant, I'll probably talk to the cannabis plant too. But the thing is, though, that cannabis plant will talk back. If you don't figure it out. But yeah, I am thinking about ordering some CBD flower. I mean, that shit's totally legal, so I don't need to worry about that. But I'm thinking about ordering some CBD flower because I think that it will help me with the motivation thing. Because I do believe that, like, these plants wouldn't be on the planet if we weren't supposed to do something with them. You know? And if there are certain doors that are opened that can help us in our life, then I feel like that, I mean, it's pretty obvious to me that that couldn't possibly be a bad thing. But at the same time, like, if you don't know what door you're opening, that's pretty dangerous, you know? Like, and I think that's specifically the issue that so many people have with various drugs, is they don't acknowledge that they're opening a door to their mind. And if that's the case, then they might not like what's behind that door. And if you don't have any reverence for not only the thing that you're doing, but, you know, the whole experience of it, then yeah, you're probably going to get screwed over by it at some point. You know? So, I'm just hoping that, like, every time that I do this to myself, every time that I go on a little binge, I'm hoping that there will be something that's revealed to me to sort of make it worth it, maybe. Like, I don't think that anything's a waste of time. I don't think anything's a waste of experience anymore. You know, comedy taught me that. Christianity taught me that. So it's easy to be like, oh, well, I shouldn't have done that. And then you waste additional time because you're beating yourself up about it, rather than just accept the fact that you made a mistake, or accept the fact that you did something that you knew you weren't supposed to do, and then pick yourself up. You see, the quandary, is that the correct word? the quandary that I'm having is like, what if I just want to stay here? What if I just want to stay here and keep fucking up? It's like, there's a song by Fiona Apple. It's called A Mistake. And she wrote it back in 1999. It's off of the album When the Pawn. Probably her best album. But it's all about the freedom of going the wrong direction. And that we shouldn't force ourselves to just stay on the right path because like that's what we're supposed to do. You know? Like, and I guess the more virtuous person would be like, no, we should stay on the right path because, you know, obviously it's the right path for a reason. But God's amazing. You know, He can take any mistake that you make and flip it and turn it into the best thing that ever happened to you because of some realization that you had or a person that you met during that time period. You know, I was just talking to this friend of mine who was going through a really nasty divorce last year. And he was like, you know, I really didn't realize what I was in until I got out of it. And I guess that's his way of admitting that he was wrong about his ex-wife. But they had a really, really unhealthy marriage, and they always have had an unhealthy marriage. And she finally got fed up and walked out of it. But, you know, it was better for the both of them. They have a kid, too. And she's 16 now. But, you know, she's totally fine with it. She doesn't think that they should be together. You guys know my feelings on divorce, but my feelings on divorce exist because of my feelings on marriage. I think that only certain people should get married and have kids. I think that most people should avoid this activity. And the reason why is because they're just not mature enough, and it doesn't make any sense why people would, like, sign their life away, you know, to decisions that are, like, responsible. You know, I mean, that's why I never even bothered. Because I know the way that I am, and it does sound selfish, but it's like, well, I would say it's more selfish to lie about who you are, to try to be something that you're not. Like, I think, once again, the percentage factor. So, if you legit want to be with somebody, if you legit want somebody to spend your life with, then yeah, go do that, okay? But if you're totally fine with being alone the majority of the time, don't fucking waste your life. Don't try to meet somebody that's like you. Like, you've already met you. You already have the person you're supposed to be with. It's just not conventional, you know? It'll never be conventional to choose yourself. It'll always be seemingly selfish and narcissistic and weird. And it doesn't have to be some new age witchy shit, okay? Like, you don't have to be a feminist. You don't have to be anything. But it does sound like that. It definitely sounds like it's coming from that sort of a vein, unfortunately. But that's just because I'm a woman. If I was a man, I could just blame feminists, right? I could just blame feminists and I could say, women are so evil, and that's why I'm all the way over here. But see, that's the thing, though. It's fucking stupid. The reason why women and men are so fucking terrible is because the world that we live in today is so much worse than it used to be because of all the things that people think we have to have. And it's changed our brains. It's changed our emotions. It's changed the way that we process information. And because of that, people are just not as motivated to do the things that we used to do that gave us a sense of fulfillment, because nobody's experiencing that the way that they used to anymore. I still get a lot of fulfillment from my art. I still get a lot of fulfillment from just like walking around and talking to God, singing, connecting with other people. I still get something out of that. I still get a little bit out of doing drugs. That's been a major topic in the past several videos. But like, it's strained now, man. A lot of this stuff is strained now because we're just not living in the same world. And that's harder for me to accept some days than it is others. Some days it doesn't bother me. I'm like, whatever. It's just, it is what it is, right? But other days I just want to slip my wrists. And I'm not saying that so that people feel sorry for me. I'm saying that because it's a legit thing to feel, you know? When you look around you and everything seems to be getting exponentially worse, and it's like people are just coping, you know? People are coping with an unrecognizable world. You know, most of the people that surround them are fucking droids. You know? Like, there are plenty of people I know that, you know, they still work. They still, you know, care somewhat about the things that they care about. But like I said, it's strained. Everything's strained. And we're just not what we're capable of because of this technology, dude. It really has everything to do with it. I mean, people don't want to face that, even though they're literally facing it all day. But they don't even see it. Yeah, it's just like any addiction. When you're in it, you don't know. I think I'm kind of like half-seas. I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out. You know, it's like I'm sticking my fucking toe in the pool. And then I swear that I'm never going swimming again, and then 3 days later, I'm fucking swimming again. You see me with the floaties on, whatever the fuck, the inner tube. You know, like when I was drinking, I was just on that fucking high dive, you know? And it was like I fully accepted whatever was coming. I fully accepted you know, the consequences of my actions, because I knew that there would be plenty of consequences. I feel like that's the most important thing. Like, I can do whatever the fuck I want as long as I'm willing to accept the consequences of my actions. But one of the major consequences for me is a lack of motivation. And you know, there's this part of me that's just like, fuck it, maybe I just need this. Maybe I just need to take a breather. I need to spend this time by myself. But I mean, it's like, I wish I could tell you that every time I do that, that there are things that I figure out, but that's just not true, you know? I wish that were true. I wish I was like figuring out the world and like solving all of my problems. But like I've told y'all, I'm not very good at lying to myself. So I definitely suck at lying to anybody else. I mean, that's why I don't lie to people, is because like if I suck at doing it with me, I'm probably not going to be very successful. But anyway, I think I've talked long enough about the same shit, but you know, I guarantee you we'll probably say more things about it that are very similar to the other things that we already said.